They aren't creepy or spooky, but definitely kooky. They may joke about Dookie, the four guys on the show. You know all of their names from watching them play games. Their scores sometimes are lame. The four guys on the show. Pinball. Consoles. Arcades. Sunday night is a dream because you get to see them at Eastern 7 p.m. Tune in and watch the show.
I can't do that. I can't do the snaps. There you go.
You can't do a new Mr. Postile video?
Nope.
Could have done it that way.
You got to watch more Curly on the Three Stooges, then you'll be able to do
roll on the
that.
ground and twirl around like that.
Do the Curly shuffle.
Yep.
Oh,
Do you remember the lyrics to Addams Family when we were kids growing up? What people used to sing? It was totally different.
oh yeah.
Kind of like
The Addams Family started when Uncle Fester farted.
Yeah.
They all became retarded. The Addams Family. It was the '80s. You could say that stuff back then.
You can get canceled for that now. Yeah. Oh, let's see.
Oh yeah. Go ahead. Who's here?
Nice. Gideon.
Yeah. Gideon's
Windmill
here.
Mr. Windmiller.
Casey.
Of course. Casey's here. Kelly's here.
Kelly.
Woo.
Derek.
Derek's here. Chaos is here.
Yes.
Chaos.
And Derek can snap. Nice. That's always good. All right.
All right. Well, let's go with this. So basically, let's talk about, if you want to, guys, you want to start doing the tournaments, the scores, before we talk about the different subjects?
Sure. Sounds good.
Is pinball ready, or is it
You
still
want it?
on?
You want to go over the pinball, or you want to go over the arcade thing first?
Pinball. That sounds good.
Okay, let me see. Let me pull that up. I was almost ready. Here we go. Boom. Yeah, so this was the Monster Bash pinball.
Nice.
Yeah, look at Derek. 128 million. He just threw
Good
down.
Derek.
We were all just trying to add up to get to Derek's score. Then I came in second with 46.8. T-Dog was 41.5 almost. 41,499. Mike, you had 23.2.
Yep.
Greg had 14 million and Poe had 8 million. But Poe did play with the handicap because he was playing and he got a phone call.
Yeah, I finally had a chance to play. And so I'm sitting there in my chair and I'm thinking, I'll play on the Switch handheld. You know, I hardly ever do that. I'm sitting there, and the first game I'm playing, my boy calls right then. So then I go to answer him and I drain, and I think I had 2 million.
Oh,
And then,
nice.
well, he's talking to me. He says, oh, I see you're on the Switch. He had his turned on too. He's like, oh, you're playing pinball. I was trying to play pinball. I played the second game while I'm talking to him, kind of, and then I think that was the 8. Actually, I thought I got 7, so 8's a lot better than I thought I did on it.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, I thought I had a run at Derek on that one because if you watch my video, I think, Mike, you comment, I had I was all staged for the Monster Bash mode.
Yep.
And stinking Drac got right in front of the thing, and I would have hit it in there and started Monster Bash, but then instead I just drained. I figured that's the better way to go. You know, I thought if I get that Monster Bash thing going, it'd be cool and all, and the video would look great, but Derek would probably start crying. He'd have to call out of work the rest of the week because, you know, he'd just be too upset. The therapy sessions would have went for months. So I said, I'll just let it drain. Yeah. Oh, Mike's gaming gal is here.
Hey,
Am
Mike.
Happy Canadian Thanksgiving.
Oh, num num num.
Nice.
Num num.
Is it in October?
Yeah. Do you guys do turkey and stuff like we do on your Thanksgiving, or what's
Flamingo.
They eat flamingo.
Yeah.
Oh, that does make sense.
Do they listen to Celine Dion over there? Well, it's Thanksgiving. Is it,
Oh. Hey, no problem, Derek. I got you covered. Yep.
Oh,
Thanksgiving is also in Canada. I thought it was USA only. I want Thanksgiving. You can have Thanksgiving. You know what you do, Gideon? You have Thanksgiving today, and then do it again in November. You
Yep.
can have,
Of course.
we're kind of stuck. We're only allowed to have our own Thanksgiving, because then it would seem like we're, cheating on our own country if we did Canada. But you can do it because you don't have one that we cheating on. Let's see. Salty's here.
hey, Salty.
Salty.
Smash that thumb.
Yeah. Ouch.
Same dinner, earlier harvest. Oh, that makes sense. It gets chilly up there.
Yep.
Celine Dion in Quebec, not here.
Oh, rats.
I like our Thanksgiving better. Spreads out the turkey dinners.
Nice.
Don't talk about spreading turkey around Poe.
Yeah. Oh, actually, she just put our big giant turkey in the refrigerator to thaw, so we must be celebrating Canadian Thanksgiving. I think she did that because we're not going to be here during Thanksgiving, so she just went ahead and pulled the turkey out. It's going to be cooler this week, so it'll be perfect to roast a turkey.
Nice.
Let's see. Gideon says they don't even have Halloween as an official holiday, just our town horror-ish holiday on the 11th of November. Wow.
Oh.
Less horror-ish is never good. Oh, horror-ish. Okay.
Horror day, huh? I like to celebrate that.
Red light day.
Yeah.
They're all half off on that day.
Nice. Yeah. We lived in one of those towns up in Arkansas where they actually had a town meeting on whether or not they should move Halloween because it fell on a Sunday.
Oh.
Yeah. Thankfully,
Well,
it was voted down.
I had a sergeant that was in charge of our dorms when I was in my tech school in California. And with his religion, he was totally against Halloween. You know, people like trying to celebrate Halloween and stuff like that. And he was all pissy about it. What are you going to do?
Yeah. I don't know. Show him some of those sexy Halloween costumes chicks wear. Maybe he'd come back around. Like, well, maybe this isn't so bad.
Well, maybe he's
But,
kind of afraid everybody's going to dress up as a chick.
Yeah.
I was
Maybe.
sexy Navy wave. Whack, whack, whack. No whacking at my wave.
Salty's back on his regular the Salty account.
A salty switch.
Oh, nice.
Just children walking around with sticks and some decorative light thingies on them, and they sing songs at doors so they receive candies.
What?
Oh. So it's a mix of Christmas caroling and Halloween, and
At least
Wow.
tell me they wear hoods or something. Like scythes walking around? Like death?
yeah, they're just in their regular clothes and stuff, walking around with lights on a stick. Huh.
Wow.
Interesting. Anyway, did we want to continue with the pinball? I did set up a new pinball tournament. And because the other pinball tournament hadn't ended in time, so I couldn't start a second one on FX3. So I chose to go with Pinball M since it's Halloween time in October. And I chose the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And
Nice.
of course,
Cool.
Pinball M, you need to have the code and all that stuff. So Derek will put it up in the Discord, I'm sure, before not too long here. But the code is P8KX. That's Papa 8 Kilo X-Ray, P8KX. And the password is OGA for Off Grid Arcade. Just OGA, lowercase, 3 letters. Even Poe can spell that.
Maybe.
He's taking notes. Yeah, so that'll be Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It goes again until next Sunday. So you got all week to play it. And I haven't even played it yet because in M you don't get forced into playing a game. So right now the scoreboard's wide open. So first come, first serve. Someone could be winning right now at any point. So that's the deal. So, all right. Mike's Gaming Gal is going to go eat some family dinner. And yeah, we'll probably still be here. Enjoy your meal.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's that. So Texas Chainsaw started. It's already started. P8KX. We're good to go. All right. And Mike, did you want to talk about the who? Oh, Poe, you picked the arcade
Poe's.
challenge, right?
Yeah, Monster bashing it. And what a way to go. Off Grid Arcade, 21,800. Amazing score on that. I got 8,100. T-Dog, 7,400. Mike and Derek, the combo, 6,700. A really fun game. I really wanted to play again last night, especially since I saw you whooped up that score, but it didn't happen again. I always, I actually got a video out on a Wednesday, which was surprising. Anymore, it's usually Friday, so I thought that would give me a chance to play again, and then it didn't. But I really enjoy that game. That's a really fun game.
It is. And I learned, I played mine before I watched yours. And so I didn't want to get a reminder really, but I could have used some tips. Because if you watch my video, my very first game, I ran into Dracula because I thought you just got the sword and then ran into him like you were going to stab him. I completely forgot you could even throw the whatever you're throwing, the shooting zappers or whatever it is. The whole first game, I never pushed the A button because I forgot you could. And then I watched, I figured it out as I was playing, but then I watched yours and I saw you got that 1,000 bonus points for lighting all the candles.
Right.
So then I started doing that. And that 21,000 point game was a pretty cool. It worked out pretty good. I figured out a couple of patterns on the thing that worked out fairly well. Frankenstein level. I know a lot of people were saying in the chat, man, that Frankenstein level sucks. If you just go down the first ladder and I waited before the candle until Frankenstein came down the second ladder, because he'll go down the first ladder, and as soon as he started going down, get the ladder, go in that blue door. You'll have to wait for it to get active again. And then you can just run across the top, come down, and get the sword, and he'll be coming down the ladder. You can just shoot him right there. And then I figured out a pattern on that, what is it, graveyard or whatever, when you got it change the gates and all that. And then I made it to it the second time. And
nice.
The whole map is different. Everything's way faster. I'm running around like a maniac trying to figure out how do I even get to the candle and not get killed. And it was brutal. I don't think I lost a guy until I got to that level the second time. And then I lost all my guns. It's a brutal stage. But that is a fun game. I like that game a lot.
Yeah, I kind of had the feeling like when I originally watched you play it, because I didn't play it yet. I thought when you're chasing him down, I was thinking it's like Pac-Man. I go, oh, okay, it's like Pac-Man where you're chasing down the ghost. No, you touch him, he totally smacks you down,
Right.
Yeah, it's quick. You got to move quick once you get that sword.
Oh, here's a Gideon sent a picture of the holiday festival thing. The kids with their lighting, look like lantern type things, huh?
Yeah. They're
walking around in their coats. They're walking around pretend. Oh, that's their costume. They're pretending like it's cold in November. That's what it is. See, if you were in Texas, everyone would have just been back here somewhere sweating, wearing those heavy coats. Because we're just hopeful that we're going to get under 90 by the time Halloween hits here. So that's awesome.
Yeah, totally different. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Frankenstein's a jerk. Yeah, it's uh-oh. Oh, you son of a Derek, you had one job, Derek. You had one job. Papa 8 Kilo X-ray. P8KX. I could put it up on the thing somewhere.
Yeah. Would have been for the My Little Pony pinball, he would have been here.
That's true. And Mike, to you, that is a horror game.
Really scary.
I couldn't help myself. We were at the Ollies and they had those ponies there, so I had to get a picture of that and put that up in the Discord. So
Nice. 42.8 degrees in the Netherlands. It is 88 here, Fahrenheit. Yeah.
okay. Inside it's 74 here, but we had some really cooler days. Got up for work the one day and it was 33 out already. So it's like,
Wow.
oh man.
Yeah, we're getting down into the 50s, so it's nice at night, and it's actually cooling off enough when we go to bed that we can just open the windows. We don't have to sleep with the air on anymore.
Oh,
And
nice.
it's pretty chilly. It gets chilly in the middle of the night with the windows open and the fan in the window. But yeah, and I think by next weekend our highs are supposed to be in the 70s. So hopefully that sticks and it's not just a little dip and then back up to the 90s again.
Right.
Yeah, Derek wants that prize, Mike. The My Little Pony.
Oh, he's getting it. I'll send him to the con.
Yeah, that always is funny because they get like the discounter, or they get the closeout stuff or store closer stuff. So I always got to walk through the toy aisle too, and they'll have like figures from different lines, but it's always the ones that like weren't popular enough to sell at the Target or someplace else. Like they had the Last Crusade, and you had the dad and the other dude, the fat dude, but no Indiana Jones at all. Just like stacks and stacks of the other guys that people didn't buy.
Wow. Yeah. I just saw it, Mike. We got the
Oh, yeah.
Coke Zero Cherry going on.
Yep.
That's the way we roll. All the
I
cool
got-
kids have it.
Coconut water. And
Nice.
it's got passion fruit, baby.
Whose coconuts did you have to milk for that? Never
Very
mind.
passionate about it.
Weren't we talking about like beat 'em and eat 'em, like energy drinks?
I had to bring that
Drink
up.
of beat 'em and eat 'em right there.
Beat him and eat him. And poor Brian from BD Retro Mods, he was on Game Closet's live show there this past week, and they were talking about the Pittsburgh Gaming Expo. And he was talking about, well, Pittsburgh Gaming Expo isn't just video games and arcade games. They have a lot of tabletop board games and stuff. So then I wrote in the chat, Brian, did you pick up Beat 'em and Eat 'em, the board game? And he saw that, and he's like, pose here. And there we are with the Beat 'em and Eat 'em joke again.
He didn't go for it, did he?
No. But Game Closet put it up at the bottom of the screen for everybody to read. So we had that going for us anyway.
Nice. Nice. So, Mike, maybe we should, before we get too far, maybe we should also acknowledge that Greg still isn't feeling well. His knee is not getting much better, and he's on some medications, and he's just taking it easy for the foreseeable future. So hopefully he can get himself healed up and make it back. To
Yeah.
himself.
Yep.
Feel better, Greg.
Yeah,
Yep.
we're not rushing him. He needs to take care of himself more than he needs to be here. Besides, if
Oh,
we
yeah.
only have 3 people, we can see these pumpkins in the corner. If there's a 4th person, it hides the background. So
Well, if we get him back, we're putting legs on the background. in honor of him.
There you go. Bunch of decaps. All right.
I'm usually the one that makes the knee jokes to poor Greg. Tonight it's Mike.
Yeah.
I feel bad because I'll say it in our personal text to each other, and Greg will say something, and then I'll make a joke about a knee or a leg, and then there's nothing from Greg again for another several days. I'm like, wow, maybe I shouldn't have wrote that.
Oh,
Hey,
Crystal
Phil's
Bliss.
here. How's it going? Happy Sunday. It's not just Sunday, it is Canadian Thanksgiving. How did you not know that, Phil? You're supposed to be good friends with wait till Mike finds out.
Yeah.
You
What's the
didn't
matter
even
with you,
know.
guy? Hey, buddy.
I'm not your buddy, friend. What was
I
that?
like
The
that.
guy with the paper bag on his head? Remember, ugly Bob or something like that?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Hey?
I noticed something here. If I leave one of the chats up on the screen, I think there's a witch right in the middle, and every once in a while
Oh,
she'll
yeah.
do something. There'll be a puff of smoke. It'll look like I tooted. Look, there it goes. There. I just shit out a witch. What the heck?
You got a little
Where's this
body
show
on the bottom of you.
Yeah, see. Hocus pocus.
Yeah, that's my lower body right there, and then I get out.
Oh,
Oh,
Terrence and Phillip, that must have been a quiz.
And he killed him with a hammer. Let's go look for treasure. Do they do that on the subway? I'm just curious.
oh,
Oh, should we talk about the new challenges
Nah.
for our, was it console challenge this time?
yeah. That sounds great.
Yeah, we're going to be doing Splatterhouse 2 for the Sega Genesis. And yes, there is a scoring system. You'll play it on normal, no continues. And we'll play it till Saturday, midnight. Turn in your scores, just like before. Pacific Standard Time.
Splatterhouse 2? Is that what?
Yes,
Sega Genesis.
Sega Genesis. It's a fun game. Because you said something about like playing something Friday the 13th-ish. It is pretty like it's like Friday the 13th.
Oh, yeah.
Guy
it's
wears
the
a hockey
13th.
mask. Yeah.
Yeah. So since it's not officially Friday the 13th, it's Sunday the 13th. So we'll just get someone that's similar.
Yes.
That works. That works great.
No. No fur.
Yeah, we've heard that before. Do I have another? Oh, I was going to pull up a picture of maybe something. I was going to Google an image for the game, but I forgot my browser's over here because it has StreamYard on it. I'm over here. Look, where's my browser at? Oh, it's the one with it's the one with our show on it. But excellent.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look and see where else to play that at, because my Genesis, my Tower of Power, when I was cleaning everything else up a few months ago, I must have put some of the cords away for it. So I either got to dig all those out, or maybe I already have that on my Wii, my modded Wii. So
Do
take
you
a
have
look.
it on your iArcade? Did you grab some games?
No, I went on the Viper side of it real quick to check today, and for whatever, they have the full library of SNES and NES on there, but they don't have the full library of Genesis. So they had Splatterhouse 3, but not 2 on there.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'll check my Wii. I'm sure it's probably on my Wii.
All right. Sounds good. So we
Yeah.
want to head off and do the questions now?
Sure.
You guys ready? So we're going to do something a little bit fun here. So I'm going to ask me and Poe. So, Poe, what are your 4 games for 4 different systems that you recommend for October? And celebration of Halloween, of course. What would you recommend?
And to make it easier, be games that are easy enough to get. If if you're not if you're emulating, they're all easy to get, right? But so Atari 2600 is easy for me because it's Haunted House. I got that with my first lineup of games in '82. So Haunted House, but runners up, of course, would be Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Halloween for that. But you'll probably have to emulate those. They're very expensive. So NES, that's a really tough one. That's almost like asking what's your favorite NES game, and you got to pick. There's so many good ones for the NES. I'm going to say Ghosts and Goblins, even though I love the Castlevania games a lot. I would go with that. If you're going to do homebrew, do the Haunted Halloween 85 and 86.
Love those.
Yeah, those are really good. And the 87 will be coming out, so I can't wait for that to come out.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait for that one. And how about like a modern title you like?
Oh, a modern title. Anything zombie style. Trying to think what I play that's modern, that's scary anymore. There's just so many. I'd love to try the Silent Hill that you talked about.
Well, you and Bart played, remember that Exorcist game? That actually scared me where I didn't want to play it anymore. I kind of stopped playing, like, whoa, okay, this is really
that was really good. And Madison, I didn't finish. Madison, I don't finish these games because I'll put it out there for people. Do you want me to finish this? And if I hear nothing back, then if I'm not playing it for a video, I usually don't finish it for myself either. There just isn't time. So, but Madison was a great VR game. Super Nintendo, I would go with Zombies Ate My Neighbors, Genesis as well.
Nice.
Love that game. And PlayStation 1 has a ton of great games. You got your Resident Evil games on there. And out of those, I love all of them. Resident Evil Director's Cut, Resident Evil 2. But I would probably go with 3.
3?
Resident Evil 3 on that one.
3 is actually my favorite for PlayStation 2. Yep.
Right. So, that's my 4 consoles.
Nice.
But yeah, there are a lot for newer consoles. Anything with zombies, I love. So, Dead Island, those kind of games.
Yeah, they're fun. I guess Derek had a question. Mike, how is Silent Hill 2 going? It's actually doing pretty good. I'm liking the game so far, Derek. I'm at the hotel, so I'm betting. I saw a note that says I'm going to meet somebody with a big sword. I don't know how to take that. That's either going to be creepy or something really, bad. Like, I hope no rapey on that for my character. But so far, so good. It's fun. All right, I'll talk about mine real quick. Let's see. We'll go to the NES side. So this was my favorite as a kid. The uninvited. For the NES.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I seen this cover at the video store where me and my buddy would like to rent video games from. I think it was called Kathy's Video Store. And they had this picture. I'm like, is that a horror game? Because I wasn't used to seeing something like this, on the NES. It's usually your Mario or whatnot, like cutesy games. And I'm like, what? Let's play that. And I had a blast. And it got really scary, especially when you saw there was like this lady that dressed like she was in the what's that show called? That movie?
Mama's Family.
Like she dressed Scarlett O'Hara, I guess.
Oh yes,
So and you see her from the back. Of course, when you touch her, that's her, the skeleton lady, and it's really descriptive how she tears you apart. I'm like, whoa, So yeah, that game scared me as a kid, but I loved it. So that was my first encounter for like horror games on the NES. And then the next one, this was from the PlayStation 1, Silent Hill, the original. So I got this in the Navy. And what's kind of funny, there's a roommate when we were stationed over at the sub base in Bangor. Anytime I fired that game up, he would like, oh crap, Mike's firing up Silent Hill again. I'm leaving. Because he couldn't stand the music or the noises it would make. It'd creep him out. So he literally he would go head out to the bar. He's like, oh, I'm going to go out drinking tonight. So he went out if I'm playing Silent Hill. So I kind of always remember that. it scared my roommate. And then the second one, Fatal Frame 2. And that was Crimson Butterfly. So it had the two twins on it, and you're fighting ghosts in the game with a camera. And literally, you have to go really close to them. And it was scary because it's very claustrophobic where you're going to this old village, and there's ghosts running around. And usually, like if you're playing a survival horror, like Resident Evil, you'd be able to have a gun, shoot zombies from far away. And now this one, it wants you to really go close to the ghost. And it took me a while to beat it because I had to turn on the light or play it during the daytime. That's how scary it was for me. But I love that game. It had the two girls in it. They're lost in this abandoned Japanese village. So good game. And then the last one for modern consoles, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
Oh, yeah, good one.
So this is a departure from the other, was it Resident Evil games where it was third person? And now it's first person, which kind of threw me off when I played the game. And I remember playing it, and especially when you're wandering the house, how claustrophobic it is. And especially it gets dark in these hallways. And there was, I don't know if you played it, Poe, haven't you? With those creatures that come out of the walls. That scared me. Or the family that can't be killed. It's like you have this long fight with them. If you chopped off their hand, next thing you know, they reattach it. Oh man, can't kill these guys. So it really got me worried. How do I beat these people? But yeah, really good, scary game. So those were, good games. If you guys want to try them out for, coming Halloween, definitely give that a try. So we're going to include Off Grid in this. Off Grid, what is your 4 pinball recommendations to celebrate Halloween?
All right. Well, I'm going to kind of go with. I was thinking about it while you guys were talking, and I like how you said with different consoles and stuff. So I tried to come up with a list that has a little bit of everything on there, mixing it up a bit. So although some of the first one I'm going to say is last week's challenge, Monster Bash. That's nice. A classic. You can play it in the arcade, or it's available on FX, FX3, all those. So you can play it digital, or you can play it in the arcades if you can find one in the wild. But I'm going to go with that one as a Pinball FX, FX3 type of title.
Nice.
My second pick, I'll go with Pinball M and say Chucky. That's still my favorite one of all the tables on Pinball M. It's an awesome theme, awesome table. I really like that. My third choice, I went with Zaccaria Pinball, the Spooky remake. That's one of that Spooky table for Zaccaria Pinball is actually one of the leading causes of how I ended up with a channel in the first place. I started my channel doing pinball in October. And I saw this Spooky table for the Zaccaria Pinball. Never heard of it before. Started playing it and said, man, I'm going to make a video about this, put it on my old channel. And I said, no, I got to make a whole new channel. This isn't really, geocaching or anything. Let's start a new channel. And Spooky Pinball is related. Now, I will say the remake is my favorite table to play, but the deluxe, the artwork is really nice. There's a couple of things on each of the characters right in the middle of the playfield that really stand out. So I went with Spooky on Zaccaria, which again, that's another digital table. And then I went for one that's only available in the arcades right now. And Mike, you and I played this up in Portland not that long ago, that new Jaws table.
Oh, I love that game.
That is an awesome table. I really, really like that. And of course, I'll give honorable mentions because Poe did, he threw some extra 2600. Of course, the Elvira tables are always good. But I don't want to limit Elvira tables to only October. She's good year-round. Yeah, of course, the Elvira tables, you can't go wrong with those. But yeah, I wanted to mix it up a little bit because I could have easily said, oh, yeah, Scared Stiff is one. House of Horrors is one. We got 3 of them right off the top with Elvira. But yeah, So I'm going to go with that. Monster Bash, the Chucky on Pinball M, Spooky, Zaccaria Pinball, and Jaws out in the wild. You're going to have to find that one in an arcade because there's no digital version. And even on VPX, it'll be a long time because they typically don't make new ones because they don't want the pinball companies coming after them. So it'll be a few years before that one's available digital.
Yeah.
I would think.
Is it because of licensing or something that FX can't get it, or?
Well, yeah,
some other
FX
company?
probably can't get it because of the licensing. And then, Spooky Deluxe, drain down through the peaks. Yeah, that's true. And then the VPX side, because that's all free and that's all made by just average people. But the manufacturers tend to leave the VPX people alone when they could go after them for copyright issues. But they leave them alone because they generally stick to the older stuff. You don't see them doing remakes. They might do a mod that's close, and there is a really good VPX table, Jaws, that just came out recently. And go over to Ed's channel, Digital Victory, and look for his Jaws video. He did a video on it. It's a really good table too, but it's not it's not the same. It's kind of like the Jaws table for FX, and FX3 is not the same as the one you play at the arcade. So
yeah,
those are the 4 pinball tables that I would recommend right now with a mix if you want to have multiple different styles, places to play them.
Nice.
So.
All right, let's kind of get the audience involved with this since it's coming towards Halloween. So you guys can only name one. All right, don't name off like honorable mentions or anything like that. Otherwise, we'd be here like way too long. One. So, what is your favorite Halloween movie? So you can only pick one. Any takers, and we can talk about that here. So here's a chance if you want to say something. Otherwise, we're going to name off our picks.
Yeah, that's a tough question too, though, because
that's a very good question.
There are so many good horror movies. Because you're talking just horror movies in general, not specifically the Halloween series.
Yeah, kind of like your go-to movie. Yeah, your go-to movie that you definitely watch on Halloween or October at least. Oh, okay, we got Derek. Derek, that is actually a pretty good movie. Tucker and Dale versus Evil. That's I got that on Blu-ray. That's a pretty fun movie. Have you guys seen that one?
Yeah.
Poe, have you seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Love that, Derek.
Yeah, that's a good, funny horror comedy.
Nice.
Anyone else? Don't make us leave Derek's thing up there too.
Going twice.
Our
Sold.
up in the corner, just putting the
My
negative
Little
numbers.
Pony. Go see all of you.
It's a hard question. That's a hard thing. So people are probably thinking.
Oh,
Greg, it's rough.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I know why you picked that. Legs. I don't blame you, Tim Curry. Yep.
Good to see you, though, Greg. Nice you can make it in.
Yes, Gregory.
Monster Squad, Return of the
Oh,
Living.
yeah.
Yep, you got to pick one. So I'll assume Monster Squad's your number one. That's a good film, Upstate Metal Cowboy or Chaos. Ooh, Friday the original, Kelly? I'm assuming
this was a good one.
Film.
Kevin Bacon.
It's one of the few movies where you don't actually see Kevin Bacon.
Well, there is a scene. My wife had it on the other day, and there's somebody laying on the dock, and they get up, and it's just like Kevin Bacon from the waist down in the person's head. And I'm like, really? You couldn't get away from the bacon pit. I mean, sure, it was covered in swim trunks, but it was like a Speedo he was wearing in the thing.
Yeah. It's
Friday
a Game
the
Freaks.
13th, Part 6. Oh, which one was that movie? Part 6. Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, which one is 6? Chaos should know. That's his favorite too.
Part 6. Yeah, see, I'm curious. Oh, Jason Lives. It's Jason Lives. Yeah, Game Freak. That's actually my favorite Friday the 13th film. Yeah, I love watching that one. And I also got CJ Graham autographed my Friday the 13th plaque. So it has the video game for the NES. So it was CJ Graham from that movie that signed it. Good pick. So Bliss picked Pac-Man. Was this horror movie?
2,600 Pac-Man.
It's those ghost monsters in there that scared you, isn't it? The flicker.
The flicker.
Gideon went with just Halloween.
Nice.
I'm guessing the original on that one too.
That's a great movie.
Yep.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yep, Jamie Lee.
That's hard to pick one. Like, oh wow, Mike, you're just terrible. You're an evil person for doing this. Because I got 5 million. Of course, I got 5 million of them floating around in my head that I got to watch every year.
Yep, Jason Lives. Nice. Oh, I need to watch that. I have not seen
Oh
it.
yes, good movie. Good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to check those out, Mike.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I got. What's kind of funny? I got like. Have you guys seen Terrifier? I heard my niece has been begging me to watch it. I'm like, I heard people puked on the third film, the last movie. They were puking and leaving the screening. It's like, is that safe for me to watch? She said, no, you should definitely check out at least the first one. So I'm probably gonna give that a try. I haven't seen any of the Terrifier films, but
I haven't seen them yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
The first one. Here's my thoughts on the first two, because we haven't seen the third one yet.
Uh-huh.
First one was I love that movie. I thought it was awesome. It's got some good gore in it, so be prepared for some gore. Second one got a lot of hype. I didn't personally like it as much as the first one.
Yeah.
But I'm hearing a lot of good stuff about the third one. So I'm hoping it'll redeem itself.
Nice.
Yeah.
Derek, I didn't name a movie yet. Romero, you said Romero. I didn't name a movie yet. I don't know if I can.
Already given you shit.
Yeah, we
You're already ripping on me, Derek, and I didn't even say anything. Gee.
Jason Lives has some of the hottest chicks, and she has that bad red Trans Am. I forgot. But it's bad. Yeah.
I thought that. Oh no, that was a different movie. Never mind.
All right. Why don't we go for us? We'll start with Poe. What's your
That's
favorite?
not fair at all. There are certain ones that we do watch that we both like here. So if it's going to be one that we have to watch, it's probably Poltergeist.
Oh.
Just because there's
Classic.
certain scary movies that my wife won't watch that I will watch. So, but Poltergeist, she loves it. I love it. So we make sure we watch that and Christine every Halloween.
Yeah. Poltergeist is such a good film. Yeah, I got that off. I actually got 2 copies of that film. I got the Blu-ray, and it's the book. So if you open it up, it has like all the notes from Steven Spielberg about the making of the film on it. Did you ever see the book copy of Poltergeist? So they sold that, and I bought it along with a Full Metal Jacket. They had the book copy to that.
Oh, nice.
And then for Poltergeist, I rebought it again. I got the 4K version. 4K
Nice.
version looks really amazing, especially they put Atmos surround sound on it. Yeah, it's a totally different movie. When I was watching that, like, whoa, all my speakers are being activated because like you can hear everything going around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, like Derek was saying there too, Romero, yes, there are certain things at Halloween that we got to watch, just like you got a bunch of movies at Christmas you got to watch. So definitely Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead. You know, Army of Darkness and the Evil Dead movies. I watch all of those every October.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah, I got done watching those, like Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, because my friend who stopped on by here, to visit, he never seen them. I'm like,
oh
what?
man,
And he loved it. He loved Evil Dead 2, though. Compared to Army of Darkness, he's like, that felt more slapstick.
yeah,
Then
definitely.
he said he kind of liked the more horror vibe that Evil Dead 2 had. And I said, yeah, they're 2 different movies, but I said I
Right.
like both. Yeah. Army of Darkness.
there's-
rules. Game
Yeah, there's
Yep.
certain things that you have to watch every year. Those are on my list. If we did that, the list would be pretty long. But
Yeah, definitely. All right, Bart, what's your favorite?
Yeah, because that's the same deal. What's my favorite? That's one of 72 different movies. So, so I'm going to pick one that I think is a classic that is pretty well liked by everyone, including myself, but no one's mentioned yet. And I'm going to go with the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh,
oh, nice. I thought you were going to pick Ghostbusters with the chicks.
It was a tight one. That one it was right there. Now I'm going to go with that. Although I know we said not to be throwing in. Boy, we started
Like I did.
already broke that ice. We started watching that Hatchet series, and my
nice.
gosh, there's someone said it was it up here. It was Game Freak said good horror movie has good kills and nudity. Watch the Hatchet movies. You're going to see boobs, and you're going to see a lot of amazing gore. And I would go with the first one for that too. It's funny because we watched the first 3 in the series, and they're literally like the next day. The one movie runs right into the next one, runs right into the next one. You can watch all 3 of those as one movie, except for the part that the one chick was a different actress. So and she's the main character. You're like, well, whatever. But yeah, if you want the Hatchet's the movie. But I'm going to go with the original Nightmare on Elm Street because it was very unique for the time. It was like, what is this dude coming after you in dreams? And Freddy Krueger with the claws, and he wasn't quite as cheesy cornball as he got later in the series. Although I think 3 is a close second for me with the Nightmare movies, 1 and 3. But yeah, I'll go with Nightmare on Elm Street.
nice.
That's what I'll pick.
Well,
Here, Showgirls. Yeah. Shop smart. Shop S smart. Yeah, Game Freak. Hatchet is amazing. Got them all.
Nice. Well, I guess for me, what my favorite horror movie is, it's kind of funny because Poe, you mentioned it. It's the movie I always watch every Halloween. It's Trick or Treat.
Oh, yeah.
So that's my go-to film. I've been watching it every Halloween. It really fits in with the theme of Halloween, with the short stories. Yeah, that's been my go-to. I mean, if you're talking about like an older film, it would be Return of the Living Dead. So that was my choice before, and then of course Trick or Treat, took that spot. But I try to watch both of those films. Love the zombie films.
Yeah.
Return to
And
Living
Creep
Dead's
Show.
awesome.
Creep Show's another must watch.
Oh, Creep
yeah.
Show. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Creep Show. And did you watch 2?
Yep.
Yeah, I love 2 as well.
Right. One is
Yeah.
my favorite one. Really.
One, yes. Yeah,
And I used to do phone systems and stuff like that in the early 2000s. I met the set doctor who has a big mansion in Murrayville, Pennsylvania, and a bunch of practices. But I didn't know he was the doctor on the set of that till I went into his place. Like, we did the phone systems for his offices. Then we went into his place. One of the phones was messed up. And he had an actual movie theater in his basement and then a big game room with a suit of armor in the game room, pinball tables.
nice.
But he had the Creep Show poster there, and it was signed by everybody, and they were all saying, "Doc, thanks for all your work," and had Stephen King and Romero, everybody wrote on there to him. So I'm like, "Whoa, you were the doctor on the set?" He was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "That's freaking awesome, dude."
Did he have a birthday cake displayed there as well?
Where's my cake? I love the Ted Danson, Leslie Nielsen one.
Oh,
Love that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
well, they're
was
on
awesome.
the beach, right? Where they bury
Yeah,
kids.
he
something.
buries them.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. All right. How about this? We'll do it really quick. This is like a speed round for everyone in the chat. Since we did expand and Poe and I threw in just really quick, just start naming off any horror movie you think is awesome that hasn't been mentioned yet. Throw it in the chat. We'll get as many up on the screen, but we're only going to do this for like 2 minutes. So go. We're not going to be here all night, but yeah, 'cause, some of them are popping up. Dr. Giggles was hilarious.
I've seen that. Yeah, I love Dr. Giggles.
So we'll give it a minute or so because the lag and delay. There we go, Kelly. Dead Alive.
Dead Alive. Yeah.
The lawnmower with the lawnmower. Right?
Probably the biggest titties ever on a movie is in that with the giant
Toxic Avenger. Toxic Avenger.
You know, the best part, I'm going to stick with Dead Alive is, what does he say? Oh, I kick ass for the Lord. And then he starts blasting into the priest guy. Here we go. Here they're coming. Pumpkinhead.
Oh, Pumpkin with Lance Hendrickson. Nice.
Yeah. Texas Chainsaw.
I did like part 2. Did you guys see that one with trying to think of the guy that was in that film? Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper and Texas Chainsaw 2?
2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Which one was it that had McConaughey in it? Matthew McConaughey. Was he in?
Oh, the Next Generation, I think. Yeah. Was that good?
Yeah.
I heard that one was the bad one.
Let's see. The Descent, very underrated.
Yep. Saw that.
Night of the Creeps.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Derek said up here, I'm going to have to rewatch the show and write down the movies. So that's the whole goal of this. So people will come back and rewatch this.
Keep rewatching it.
Little awesome bastard. I love Descent. Yeah. Anything else?
Dracula, Dead and Loving It.
I guess my other one would be Frankenhooker. That one's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, Kelly and I try to work in, Halloween, the first one, usually close to Halloween time. Friday 13th movies are always go-to stuff like that. But we always do every night in October, we watch a horror movie. And although, I don't want to get into last night's movie, which Mike watched. Say, I don't know if it's as much of a horror as a comedy. So we kind of didn't watch a true horror last night. But there you go, Lost Boys.
Oh,
yeah.
Tales from the Crypt, Bordello of Blood.
Although I did like Demon Knight more than Bordello of Blood.
Bordello of Blood,
Blood's good still. It's good, but I like Demon Knight more.
Yeah, that had what's his name? Dennis, the comedian guy.
Yeah.
The Blob.
Oh, good. The new one or the old one?
The one-eyed monster.
I like.
Oh, Demon Knight.
Yes, love Demon Knight.
Chud. Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen Chud, but I know what it is.
Excellent.
Silver Bullet.
Oh, Silver Bullet. Such a good movie.
Yeah.
That was what was the kid that played in it? It had him and the crazy uncle.
Corey Haim was in that as well as Lost Boys. So he took on a werewolf and vampires.
Yep. And what was the uncle's name? You remember him?
Gary Busey, Uncle Red.
Yes, Gary Busey. Exactly. Yeah. Good movie.
House. Ding Dong, You're Dead.
House. Yeah.
Good movie.
That had the Greatest American Hero in it, right?
Yeah, William Catt was in that, and was it Bull from Night Court?
Yes, Bull from. He was a Vietnam War vet. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, love House.
Richard Mole, I think.
Richard Mole. Yep.
Howling and Howling 2 both came up.
I love 2. Yeah, Howling 2.
American Werewolf.
Got that. Yep, good movie.
Yeah, American Werewolf. That's a great one. Oh, the carnage in that one. It's probably one of the funniest things ever. You got them having their big, deep discussion about how he should kill himself while they're in a porn theater. The guy busts in the room. He's like, "Oh, how dare you do this? And she's like, I've never seen you before. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, such a good movie. Yeah, all good choices. All good choices. October is a fun time. So many good movies, and unfortunately, so many bad movies too. You weed through a lot. Weed through a lot of bad movies. That, and Kelly and I see a lot when we're trying to watch a different movie every night. We were all excited about that one with Sarah Paulson in it. What is it? Hold Your Breath or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't recommend the movie. It's worth a watch, but I certainly wouldn't go out and pay to see it. It was okay, but kind of a weird, and not much horror to that either. It's more of a suspense kind of thing than, I went into it thinking, because they portrayed as these big dust storms. It's in the Dust Bowl era in Oklahoma. There's just dust storms all over the place. I'm thinking the fog, right? Or something like that, where there's critters coming out of there, or the mist. And, oh no, the people that got killed by the dust storms got killed by dust. They caught out the storm and they died, and they got dirt in their mouth. It's like, okay.
Oh, but you said The Fog, another great movie. The Fog, Salem's Lot. Come on,
Yep.
keep it still
Right, right,
I'm
right.
shocked nobody mentioned Sharknado on here.
A few years back, all those Sharknado movies, they were like on part 900. I was like, I came up with a better idea, and I hope nobody rips it off. I said, but how about a hurricane with a bunch of the big cats in it called Hurricane? And you got panthers and lions and stuff just coming out of that hurricane.
Right.
Cougars. And the older ladies.
Yeah. Misery, brutal scene in that, huh?
Yep.
Pet Cemetery.
Oh, nice.
No fair. Gremlins.
Gremlins. Yes, classic.
Salem's Lot. There you go.
Oh, I got that saved. I'm going to be watching that. Have that. I'm not going to watch the remake. I'm going to watch the original first.
Yeah, the TV miniseries from back in the day.
The Shining.
Oh, good movie.
Good choice.
And actually, I think, Mike, I think there was a second. So this is actually the third, because wasn't there another Salem's Lot made for TV with Rob Lowe, I think, in the early 2000s or something?
I think so. Yeah, I got the original saved in my...
Yeah, the original is the one we watched growing up all the time.
Nice.
28 weeks later.
28 weeks
Oh,
later.
yeah.
Gav said instead of Cocaine Bear, he wants crack raccoons.
I order those at the Chinese restaurant all the time. Crack raccoons.
Sweeney
Sweet and
Todd.
sour. So.
Sweeney Todd, musical horror.
Haven't seen that
Go
yet.
with the musical horror. Repo Man, the genetic opera. That's a good one. If you haven't seen that one, that's an awesome musical horror movie. They repossess body parts. It's pretty good.
Oh,
The Stand.
man.
Oh, yeah.
Choice.
Yep.
Violent Night. Yeah.
Oh, what was that? There was a Christmas horror film, Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Deadly
You guys
Night.
see that one?
Yeah. And was it Krampus too, huh?
Krampus,
Oh,
yeah.
Krampus, yeah.
Wizard of Gore. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Derek. I knew as soon as I said Repo Man, I knew Derek. Derek, we have discussed that movie before.
Dr.
Dr.
Sleep.
Sleep. Yeah.
Love the book. I like the movie too. Love the book.
I never read the book.
I thought
I
that they should have done some CGI, some AI, and put a young Jack Nicholson in there as the ghost of the dad. 'Cause in the book,
Right.
he sees the dad and everything. And
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they should have done that. But that chick that was the main Batgirl, she's a looker. That one. I'd let her infiltrate my. Okay. Black
How about
Christmas.
Shaun of the Dead? Nobody mentioned Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead. Yeah. Winnie the Pooh, that new one.
Oh,
new-
yeah.
I haven't seen it. Have you seen it?
They have part 2 out. No, I haven't seen it. I've seen it. It's like it was
Yeah.
ready to be streamed on my. Yeah.
Kelly likes that chick on that. That was the baddie in Doctor Sleep too. She's like, yeah, that's my girl crush. She's also in. She plays the big time singer in. Oh my gosh, I can't think of it now. The musical about that Wolverine was in singing. With the Barnum, P.T. Barnum one.
Oh,
Greatest Show.
Oh, yeah, great show.
Yeah, she was in that movie too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Let's see. Zombie Dutch horror movie.
What was that? I seen it on your Pittsburgh thing. What's his name? The Italian director. Remember that worked with Romero? Didn't he do a zombie film? I think it was just called Zombie, wasn't it?
Zombie.
Yeah,
Have you
it's
seen that?
Dawn of the Dead. It was his remix of it or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, he did one years before that was just called Zombie. And have you seen that one, Mike? The one where
I remember. Yeah, it was just really gross. I'm like,
yeah,
yeah.
through the door and pull that chick's head in.
Yeah.
A big splinter goes through her eye. That was the best scene ever in that movie. It's like, oh my gosh. Isn't that the same movie where the zombie's at the bottom of the ocean and he fights a shark? The zombie sinks and he's like walking in the ocean. The shark comes up and the zombie's like, ah. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, Hostel. Yeah.
Hostel, yeah, that was a creepy movie.
Kelly's turning it to a whole different. She goes from Hostel to the Human Centipede.
Oh boy. Yeah, I think I only watched a little bit, but when they started attaching people nut the butt, I stopped watching. Like, I can't watch this anymore. I know what's going to happen.
Have you seen
Oh, I heard about it. Yeah.
That's a Kevin Smith movie, and it's got what's his name in it? The guy the kid that played the Mac in all those commercials. What the heck's his name? Yeah. Oh, that Kelly says that was her super chat. Yeah. Kelly for the win. Tusk is pretty harsh movie though. Yeah, it's interesting. But well, that was fun. That was a fun little exercise of just blasting out as many horror movies as we could think of. And there's still, we just scratched the surface on that. There's so many good horror movies, and yeah, some are just guilty pleasures, and some of them are actual really good movies. Yeah, and sometimes the cheese is the fun part. You know, just cheesy, over the top, just hilarious. And I think I've told you guys in the chat, those Hatchet movies. There's some of those, you know, they cut off someone's head, and then the blood is just like. Just spraying everywhere. Just oh yeah, in a violent nature. That's a relatively new, very gory, good movie. Really good movie. If you like violent, there are some incredible kills in that are very creative. And people that didn't like it said it's just half the movie. It's a dude walking through the woods, which is true. There's a lot of the guy just walking through the woods, but when he catches the people, it's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. Yeah. Let's see. Funhouse Massacre.
Did you guys have heard of this movie? It was a killer that went around naked killing people, and it had Charles Bronson in it. I remember, and I thought that was kind of a horror film. It's like a naked dude. That's kind of a horror for me. I wouldn't want to be chased by a naked dude. I think it's like 48 Past Midnight. I think that was the movie, but they had Charles Bronson hunting this guy down. And the dude literally, I have it. It's like, what the hell? There's a usually killers, right? They dress, but this guy apparently goes naked. when he goes
Yeah.
So yeah, scary movie.
And then there was that one horror movie that I guess it was a couple of college girls, but no one did the dishes, so they had to share a cup. There was two of them.
Mike was thinking of Nightmare Before Fistmas was the one Mike was watching.
No, I don't even know what you're talking about.
I don't either. It just came to my head.
That's hilarious. Poor Fistmas. Oh, I'm Googling that later.
There was one when I was a young adult. You know, the video store. The video stores had the little back room.
Right?
Yep.
And they had a drive-through window to drop off your movies, and you could see into the back room, the naughty room, from the drive-through. And I remember they had a display there for Edward Penis Hands, and there he was, and he got the two.
Yeah. I have heard of that movie. Never seen it, but I've heard of it. Yeah. Those were the days. Nothing like going to the video store to return a video, and then there's some hot chick up cutie that you've never seen before, and you're returning some, double anal fisting 3. And you're like, oh, I had to see this one. I was just continuing the series. Yeah. Now, did you guys see the movie Clerks?
Yes.
Okay. And in that scene where Randall's ordering all the movies and the lady with the kid wanted to know about the movie, he's naming off all the porn films. And then he's like, and then what was that one? That actor that did that, he said that was the most uncomfortable he's ever been, reading all these off with the lady with the kid was sitting there. He's like, oh, give me, I got to read these. I got to read off the names of these porn films. But, yeah, and they said originally Randall was Kevin Smith was going to play Randall himself. That's why Randall has all the really good, funny lines, because Kevin Smith was writing it for himself. And he's like, no, I got to direct. I can't do all that stuff, so I'll give it to this other guy. But, yeah, he said that was so awkward, reading all that stuff off with a lady holding the kids sitting there while they're filming. Oh, all right. The Night Before Titmus. See what you started talking.
Hey, now we didn't tell you the name off adult films for Halloween.
Polo's coming. What'd you have for supper? What'd you think of Monster Bash Arcade? Polo, you're gonna have to watch the beginning of the show. We talked about all that.
Yeah.
About
We did mention supper too.
Supper. Yeah, I had pizza and some soup.
I had pizza. Hold the soup. And me and Mike have our cherry Coca-Cola zero sugar, because that's the way we roll.
And I have these nuts water.
These nuts water.
Passion fruit. Because my wife tries to buy me healthy stuff. Well, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, Poltergeist is a great movie. Very underrated.
Yeah, I love Poltergeist.
People forget about it, and they see it's, an older movie, and PG, I think it was too, wasn't it? Because that's back in the day when PG could do a lot more.
That's like with Jaws. When I saw that, I'm like, what? Really? PG? Yeah.
Flick My Balls is a porn classic. Baked macaroni and cheese and some chicken parmesan. That's not a horror. That sounds
good.
like a good. That sounds great. Did you bring enough for the whole class, Chaos? Now I'm getting hungry again. All right, what's next on the agenda? Since that whole last 20-minute segment wasn't even on the agenda.
Worked out well, though. I like hearing all the different movies.
Oh, yeah. I guess we could discuss Poe. Why don't you talk about your trip to the zombie museum?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. It's been there for a good maybe 3 years in the mall where Dawn of the Dead was filmed back in '77, or released in '78. I happened to, it's been there. I never went over to see it. And since the Pittsburgh Gaming Expo was last weekend, right across the street, I'm like, now's the time. I'm by myself. I don't have anybody to say, I don't want to go there. That's normally what happens. Wife and daughter wouldn't be interested in it. So I took a walk over there, and pretty sweet. I asked the guy if I could record first, and he said, yeah, that's fine. So I got everything in there that I could. I don't know, it's with my phone, so it might be a little, choppy, but I got every display and everything that they had on the walls there. You probably have to pause if you want to read everything on there. But I thought it was really cool to see some of those actual props. And, they had a piece of the original escalator in there. They rebuilt the elevator from that movie. They had the actual parts from it when it was torn out of the mall, and they rebuilt it right there. And props for a lot of the other movies, too, like Evil Dead, like you were talking about. The front of the cabin was there. The window was there. The door was there. Evil Dead 2. So I thought it was really awesome. It's $8 to get in. It said on there if you were military, I think it was $7. I didn't get into that. I didn't say I'm a veteran. Can I get in for $7? I figured $8 is more than fair to get in and see all of this stuff here. So,
Right.
Yeah, it was really cool to be able to see that stuff and see all the history. They have a wall there that anybody that was involved with the movie, if they come to visit or anything, they put their red handprints, bloody handprints on it, and sign their name underneath it. And they do a convention, a zombie convention there in June, I think, every year. And they'll get people back. Like Savini lives in the area. He did, all the makeup and effects for that. He did most of the stunts in that movie. When they needed a stuntman, they got him to do it. And so he's in the area. He goes to Steel City Con usually at least once a year, and he comes in for this zombie thing, and they talk about it. So I think I might actually go to that next June. They said a lot of people dress like zombies and come in there. So really cool. And that was the mall we grew up with, where we played at the arcades there. Once we got a chance to get to the mall, my buddy's family would take more often than my parents would. So it's just really cool. The mall that we hung out in and bought a lot of our Super Nintendo and Nintendo games in has this museum now. But there's another dude that was really into this. I found his video after I uploaded mine, and he does like shot for shot type of stuff. He has the scene on his phone, and then he'll show you where in the mall it happened. Here's these doors. Here's these. A really cool video that he went through and just broke down the whole thing. And they even let him into the boiler room of the mall to see different things that they shot there. So, but yeah, a lot of cool displays there. And I thought it was a great, especially $8. You can't beat it. And I just thought, I was talking with Atari Creep. He loves that movie. He loves Romero. And he was saying something about that one day. And I'm like, well, there's a museum right here. And he had actually come to visit this mall back in the 90s, but they didn't have any kind of tribute up for it in the 90s, He just came and visited the mall. So I'm like, well, maybe I should make a video of this stuff for people that they can't come here, They can see it right there on the video. So it was pretty cool. I liked it.
Yeah. And I thought that was cool while you were filming that chick came around the corner, flashed her boobs. I'm not going to tell people what time in your video was. But yeah, that was pretty awesome. That was nice. I mean, I'm guessing she was in her late 80s, but she was still all right.
That's funny you mentioned that, Bart. I saw, like, when I watched her video, so there was a reflection. So I could clearly see there was a lady.
That was my boobs. Reflection.
No boobs. Just a lady. But it was kind of funny when I was looking at it, like, hey, she's wearing the same skirt, because it was the black with the yellow, and that reminded me of the Haunted Halloween '86 with the lady Tina. Is that Tina? And,
yeah, I think so.
That popped up like, oh, Tina's behind Poe. She had that skirt. I was like, oh, Haunted Halloween. I wonder if she's a fan of that game. But I saw
Oh,
that.
and
And
they
then
were probably.
yeah, and then the other thing I saw there too, I was kind of laughing. Is did they have any of the props from Zach and Mira do, or was it Mira and
No,
Zach do a porno on there?
they put the poster there, and for Flashdance for all movies that were filmed in this area. So that's why that
Okay.
poster was there. They filmed a lot of that right there in Monroeville. It's really funny, being from here, you can see different scenes in Zach and Mary where they stop in front of Ralph's Army Surplus. That was always a store. Reminds me of the store in Falling Down, remember?
No,
Michael
yeah.
Douglas goes in there. That Army Surplus store has been there my whole life. And that was in Zach and Mary. They pull their car off and they're talking. So, yeah, they had posters of different things that were shot in the area.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a good video. That's pretty awesome. We just finally watched it today. I was able to get to it while we were eating our pizza. We were watching Poe.
Nice. All right. Well, let's go to you, Off-Grid. I know you owned an Intellivision before. Besides the Major League Baseball, is there any other favorite game you liked playing as a kid on that system?
Yeah, I like you said, I really like the sports games, the football and the baseball. But the problem with those were there was no playing against the computer. You had to have a buddy come over, and much like a lot of games, once you get too much better than them, your friends don't want to play you anymore. And I don't know if you ever did that in the baseball. You'd hit the pitch thing, and then you bat, and then you'd
Right.
So I got good at fielding and stuff. But big surprise because I do the flight stims and all that stuff. But one of my favorite I got that IntelliVoice module, and I would play the B-17 bomber.
Nice.
But yeah, because you could go to the different stations, Bandit, 12 o'clock, and all that stuff. And bombs away. So that was one of my go-to games when I was playing Intellivision. And but when I had friends over, and then if they didn't play if we weren't playing the sports game, I would play that Sea Battle. Is that what it was called? Poe Sea Battle?
Sea Battle, I believe.
You'd have your little dots going across, and you'd run into each other, and then you'd find out what boats you had to battle. We used to do that a lot too. Big surprise when I go to the Navy. But but yeah, I would say the B-17 bomber was probably the game I played the most. And then of course there was a bunch of the other games I played a lot. The auto racing, which a lot of people hate that, the television auto racing. I liked it. Astro Smash. What the heck? Oh, I had another one and it just left my head. When Astro Smash came out, it Astro Smashed the other game right out of my head. There was another one that I played quite a bit. Like I had Pitfall on there, and I had Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, yeah.
Half the fun of that was trying to count how many arrows you had. You'd push that button and it would and you're like, I think I have 14 or 37. I'm not sure. And then you'd go through and you're lighting up the tunnels as you're going, and you'd hear the off the screen. You're like, oh fuck! And then you push that button to count your arrows, and it clicks once. And you're like, son of a, that's a 2-shot monster on the other side. I gotta go find me some arrows. But yeah, I used to play that one a lot when I was by myself. That was a good one-player game to kill a bunch of time. That Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I didn't even know they had a Dungeons and Dragons on the Intellivision.
I think what is there actually, and I'm not a pro on the Intellivision because I got it in 2016, but I think there were 2 of them, and then later they lost the license, so they just renamed the game something else.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I only had that one, the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, I love that game. That was a cool little adventure game running through, and they had the different color mountains you could go into, and that would get you different things to try to get to the end mountain, and then you got to kill the winged dragon at the very end. And
did it have like voice synthesis, the voice samples and stuff on it?
That wasn't a voice game there.
No,
really?
that wasn't voice. No, You'd hear the sounds of the different monsters, so you could tell what monster was in the next room. Snake sound, and then you'd have growling stuff, and the clicks for the arrow, and it made some kind of shooting sound. I can't remember what it did when you'd shoot your arrows.
Oh, nice.
Boing.
Yeah.
Boing, boing, boing. Oh, that's Beavis Button.
Yeah, but yeah, I like that game a lot. I played that a lot. Probably the Dungeons and Dragons and B-17 Bomber are the ones I played the most. I would say
Nice.
if I was just playing a one-player game. I think that's what I would play.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So, speaking of games, like I know there's some of us that play Steam, but I don't know if you remember from Mr. Livewire when he got his hunt down. There's actually another game coming out. It's called Neon Inferno for Steam. Are you able to bring a picture of it, Bart, or kind of?
Let me grab that screen. Let me share that.
Nice. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. This is a little video, I think.
Yes.
Or is that just a screenshot? Where's the video?
Oh, there should be like a video thing on there.
Yeah, it had a video going. Maybe it's at the end.
Oh, probably.
Oh, why is it not playing the video? There was a video when it first started.
Try all the way to the beginning.
There we go.
There it is, right there.
How do I make it bigger?
Yep, that one.
Oh,
And then you can turn the volume on too, on where the volume thing. Yeah, then activate that.
all right. Can you hear it?
No.
Okay, yeah.
I guess we
it's
can
playing in
watch
my
it. Yeah.
earbuds.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Hunt Down. It looks really cool. I'm probably gonna get this. I think it's like 2-player from what it's definitely a 2-player game.
Now you guys aren't missing anything. The audio is it's playing music.
Nice.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it doesn't. It's not even playing any game sound effects or anything. It's just music.
Nice.
We can make a Bo. You make the sound effects for the guys. Hey, get off my car!
Boom shakalaka.
I love you. I can't believe we have to fight each other. Intergalactic prophylactic. Is that right?
Yeah, this game looks sweet.
Metal Gear. Oh,
Oh yeah.
neon boobies.
Yeah,
There
I'm
you
definitely picking this up. Yep. Wish list on Steam.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh,
All right.
Now I got to figure out how to close my close the screen on stuff. Oh, it played again. Yeah, that looks cool. New York City, 2055, a city beyond salvation. Blast your way through this dense cyberpunk jungle in Neon Inferno, an explosive fusion of 2D run and gun and gallery shooter, and help the family dominate its streets.
Burn, baby, burn.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Looks
Oh, yeah.
awesome. That reminds me of Bloodstained.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's as much
And the sequel,
yet.
Poop Stained.
Yeah, the targeting. Yeah, that's why I was kind of watching that. That looks cool.
Do Streets of Rage 3 something.
3.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks cool. I did not even know it was so it's releasing in 2025.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I'm clicking right now.
Yeah.
Add your wish list.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a
mine
hard
right
time remembering or even keeping up with everything that's coming up. But the new Mario Party game for the Switch is coming out this week. My son reminded me.
Oh,
So I think
nice.
Thursday maybe, and he wants to play that online with me. So we're trying to talk my daughter into getting a Switch so that we can all play together. So
Nice. Yeah, Mario
Yeah, that'd
Party
be
is a
awesome.
good one to play with family. Definitely.
Yeah.
Well,
You guys used to play that before, right? When the kids were home.
yeah, when they were home or when daughter was visiting, and then they would pick like the longest one. It would take like 900 hours for us to play. And the thing with Mario Party, at least the last one, you could be winning the whole time and kicking ass, and at the end they do all this determining stuff, and all of a sudden you're second or third place. I'm like, what the hell? What the hell? You know?
Yeah. See, that's one of those things. Kelly used to. She made it a rule. She always picked the longest one, but then she married me anyway. I don't know how that worked out. All right. So what do you got, Mike?
well, you guys want to? If there's anything else you want to talk about, or you want to hit the final thoughts?
Yeah. Either way.
I
Yeah,
think that Halloween game we talked about too. I think it's shipping this week.
Halloween and Ash versus Evil Dead from Retro Realms. Thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can
That's coming
buy one or the other to download. I bought the physical that has both of them on there, and so that should be coming with the 12-inch plush Michael Myers, and there's some other goofy stuff with it, cards or something. I can't remember what all was involved with it.
It's shaped like a VHS box, if I remember right, and it has the pumpkin from Halloween in the front of it. That looks cool.
Yeah,
And then the playable character. So if you do the Halloween one, Laura Strode, you can be Laura.
she comes with this special edition that we're getting, or you can download her if you have the digital.
Yep. Yeah, looking forward to that. That's coming out.
And they say they're going to add more horror games to it as DLC in the future. So they haven't announced what. I don't even know if they know what yet. They might have a hard time getting Friday the 13th, but I hope they get that. I hope they get Nightmare on Elm Street. You know, all your main spooky movies. I think it'd be great to see those on there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice. I know Friday the 13th, though, and we talked about it before. I think there's two or three different companies that own the intellectual property. Someone owns the name, someone owns the character.
Was it New Line Cinema, then Paramount?
Yeah.
Those two, yeah.
That's where they ran into problems with that Friday the 13th game that came out a few years back, and then they had a roadmap. They were adding stuff, and then suddenly they're like, we're not a part of the lawsuit, but out of respect, we're gonna stop. And then I think it was just January they shut down the servers for it. And it's like that really stinks, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I know like for as far as the movies go, I got my box set, so I did buy a box set. Oh, it's in the arcade room. But it has all the Friday the 13th films. So they even got the ones from the New Line Cinema. And they're all the Blu-rays. So I know they still have that probably from Scream Factory that people can still order. But I would suggest if you're wanting like the complete set, you should go get it now. There's only a few left, but they're going to run out. And once they do, they're not. What I heard from Scream Factory, they're not relicensing it because it's a pain. But the ones that they did get, they're still for sale. So
nice.
I'm trying to wait to see. They only got was it Friday the 13th remake on 4K. But I'm kind of waiting to see if they're going to do the other films as well. But I know Nightmare on Elm Street, if you want to watch the 4K version, that's out already.
Oh, nice.
Yep. And I'm going to be...
I like trying to wait for a box set for those to get a whole bunch of them together, but a lot of times that just doesn't... They'll give you one movie for ultra high def that's $50, you know?
Was it Derek's asking Halloween? Yeah, the Halloween box set, that was from Scream Factory. They are no longer making that. So if you missed out on it, you're out of luck. on it. But
You can
I
find
did.
it on eBay for $987.
right?
Yeah, if you want to buy the eBay prices. The only ones they did release, so I did buy Halloween 20 years later, and then was it the original Halloween I bought for 4K. So I got that one and 3. So I need to buy 2, Halloween 2. So that's the one I'm kind of missing. But yeah, I love Halloween 3 and 1. But I need to get part 2 as well.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's part of the problem with downsizing to live in a tiny house like we do. I gave away probably 1,200 DVDs because we just don't have room. So now I just, the movies I have are on, I think I have one of those folders that'll hold like a couple hundred DVDs. And that's all the DVDs I have now. And
Right.
I don't even have a DVD player hooked up anymore because I just put everything, I converted them and put them on hard drives. And then I have a docking station that's hooked up to the TV. So I just can pop in a horror movie hard drive and it's just full of all the horror movies I watched. But yeah, so I don't even have a way to play a 4K DVD or what are they now? You buy it on Blu-ray or is that how you buy them, Mike, is on Blu-ray?
Yeah, I
4K.
either get 4K or the Blu-ray film.
Yeah,
I mean, if there's a
ultra high
4K,
discs.
yeah, I like watching on 4K.
Yeah.
I've done the same thing. Like I already have something on Blu-ray or DVD, and it's like, well, now that I have the PS5, I can play those 4K movies on there. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to,
Yeah. Yeah. Because that'd be cool. But I just don't have the room to store a bunch of discs anymore.
I know, like, if you still want to get like 4K, I know Amazon, when I bought several films, I think I got, was it Twisters? I bought that, and I'm trying to think of the other film I bought as well, but I know I got Twisters, and that's a 4K UHD ultra high definition movie that you get. But the problem, though, I don't know if you've heard this, but some companies, I think Sony especially, if they run out of license, they'll delete that movie out of your library, even though you paid for it. And I heard something from The Verge too with Steam. You're buying for the license of the game, not to own the game. So if there's a title that you have there, they don't have the license, it's a possibility they might remove it. So it's sometimes it's, that's why
I think I mentioned that on here.
Yeah.
On the PS3, when my first one died, the few movies that I did buy from the PlayStation Store, like Jim Carrey's Christmas Carol, I know I got that on there to watch in 3D with my kids on the PS3, and that PS3 died. I got another one, and they wouldn't let me have the movies back that I bought. I even called customer support, and they're like, "No, you're just screwed. That was for one device." So
yeah, wow,
yeah, that sucks. Yeah.
So if people know the alternate way, which I won't say, get your movies that way, and then just store it on a hard drive. But I didn't say that. I don't do that anymore either. I buy my movies now. So, but for those of you who know how to do it, you can get movies.
Yeah. See, I used to have back in the day, I worked at a video store. I worked at Hollywood Video, so I could get movies all the time. I could rent them for free because I worked there and stuff. But I had a rule. I was I forget how I phrased it. It's like an honest thief. If I saw a movie and I liked it and would have bought it, I would buy it. If I wouldn't have bought it anyway, I would make a copy of it. If I thought it was okay, it's like, but it's not good enough to go buy, but I might watch it again or show, if a buddy comes over, oh yeah, let's check this movie out. Then I would make a copy of it. But if I would have bought it, I bought it. So I looked at it that way. I never stole anything that it didn't cost them any money because I wouldn't have bought it anyway.
Yeah, I remember this nice little software called AnyDVD.
Yeah.
And it would just take care of everything for you. You could even take out the commercials at the beginning with this thing. It was nice, any DVDs that had.
AnyDVD, that was a brilliant little piece of software.
And I happen to have a nephew that was a manager at a local video store, and they would get the new movies in that would release, I think, every Tuesday. And they would get them in a few days before, and that was the only time the employees could rent that movie for a month. They could take them out the weekend before, and they had to be back for release day. And then the employees weren't allowed to rent them again for a month so that the customers had. So if there was a new movie that came out, my nephew would be like, "Hey, do you want to watch this one?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I want to watch that." So he would get it out, and I would watch it.
Yeah, when I worked at Hollywood Video, we got our delivery on Thursday, and we were encouraged to watch movies before Tuesday release so that we could answer questions. People come in, and what about this movie? But we were still only supposed to take 3 movies out at a time. But our manager was like, "No, I don't care how many movies you take out at a time. Just make sure you get them back before Tuesday."
Right.
And I only would work. I worked on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Those were the only 2 days I would work. I left on Thursday with a stack of movies like this every week. And she didn't care because she knew I would watch them all. And yeah, I think I might have told you guys, she hired me because I would rent so many movies, and I'd be waiting in line, and the customer would go up and say, "Can you tell me about this movie?" And the person behind the thing would say, "I can't, but the guy behind you can." And they turn and ask me. And she's like, "You know more about movies than any of us that work here. Why don't you work here?" And I said, "Why would I want to?" She said, "Free rentals." I said, "Where's your applications?" But yeah,
Mike, you had a similar experience, didn't you?
Yeah, I worked at Blockbuster Video. So we had the same thing. I know, like prior to the new releases coming out, we would get the new releases, and then we could rent them, or not rent them, but check them out to watch. And I'd always bring those movies to the barracks. And dude, my room, because my friends found out I worked at Blockbuster when I was in the Navy, and I had like 16 guys up near where I would stay at my room. And they were like, "Did you get the new movie?" Or I forgot what films I rented. I got the movies. And then they'd all pile up in my room. And then we'd watch those films because, they had early access to it as well. Free movies. They didn't have to rent any of it. So, yeah, everybody would get excited to watch whatever I brought in there. And I know they asked me, like, hey, Mike, can you bring some of the adult? I'm like, I'm not watching adult films with you guys. Like, hell
Right.
no. It's like,
Sausage party.
Yeah. Like, I'm not bringing any of those. He's like, I need to review the movies, not freaking adult films. So, because nobody asked me, well, what do you think of this? Like, I don't know what to say to you.
One of my favorite ones before I worked there, I was just a customer. I was standing in line, and someone went. They had 2 registers open, and a couple of young guys went up, probably college age. They went up to ask about a movie that they had, and another lady with her kids asked the other person, and I could see in their faces, neither one of them knew anything about either one of those movies. And they were kind of like, "Ask him." And I grabbed him and I went like this. You guys, the lady with her kids it wasn't American Pie, but it was something like that, kind of the college age, lots of movies, cussing, drinking beer. And they had a pretty wholesome family, good. It was a good film, but it was more family oriented. I just grabbed him and switched and go, "You guys," and they did. They rented them and left. I don't know if they liked them or not, but they took my advice. But
nice.
Yeah, I was originally only going to be on the restocking crew or the inventory crew that works the overnight shift every 3 months. And she said, "You still get the free rentals year round, all that stuff, but you'll really only work 4 days a year for us." I said, "Perfect, I'll do that." And then when I was filling out the application, she said, "I could actually use someone just 2 shifts a week." And I said, no evenings or weekends, because I coach Little League. And so it has to be Monday through Thursday. And I give you 1 shift we opened at 10. And so it's like, I'll give you 10 to 3. That's it. And so she did. She gave me Tuesday and Thursday, 10 to 3. And
Nice.
So, yeah, that was a pretty sweet gig. And then when we sold our house, I had to quit because she couldn't give me time off. But she never took me off the books. And from January until June, when we actually moved, she said, "If I can call you if I need you, I'll keep your free rentals going. And she called me one day, and those. But every Thursday, I'd show up, take a stack of movies home, and I worked one day in about 5 months to get those. But
yeah, I think about how different things are. Well, with COVID started that, everything's streaming at home. You don't have to go to the theater anymore. But now things are back in the theater, but they're still streaming pretty quick, like Beetlejuice. You know, it's streaming now, but it's also still at the theaters. But when we were younger, VHS, 80s, early 90s, you waited forever. You went to the movie theater. I remember going to see Total Recall and just loving that movie, and I couldn't wait, and waited forever for the VHS release of that. And then my parents bought it for me for Christmas that year, just being all excited. I got it, you know, get your ass to Mars. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
That happened with me with Return of the Jedi. I was waiting for that film to come out, and they're like, it's not out yet, but I seen it in the theater. I'm like, how long do I have to wait for this? And then what was nice, my mom was friends with the lady that owned the video store. So she actually slipped her a 20. He's like, when you get one of these films, my son really wants to watch Return of the Jedi again. And so I was able to get a copy of it. And of course, when they laid it out on display, it was gone. So when everybody got off from work, you know, they put the movies there. Yeah, all of it was gone off that show.
Yeah, you talk about like the original Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah.
That was exciting too, because you went to see these things and then you might not have seen them till years later. They weren't readily accessible. So what happened to Luke Skywalker? I gotta watch this again. We're playing with action figures and stuff for a movie we hadn't seen in 5 years, you know. So
right.
my one buddy had a VCR and HBO or whatever it was, and he recorded all three of those. And I took it to my other buddy that had a VCR so that we could watch them. We didn't even have a VCR yet. And that was the first I watched all three of those movies since they had been in the theaters, you know. But
nice.
All those years playing with all the Star Wars toys, trying to remember the movies. Yeah, different times for sure.
Did you get into a situation like me when I stayed at a babysitter's house? They had the Empire Strikes Back on VHS, but it was a copy of the movie. And whoa, I haven't seen that one before. So I did see Star Wars, and then I saw Return of Jedi. I never seen Empire. So when I was staying there, the kids are like, oh yeah, the babysitter's got a copy of Empire Strikes Back. I'm like, cool, I want to watch it. So they put it in, and here I am watching the movie, right? But I think it's been watched so much, or maybe the copy was bad, where literally it was like heavily like snow on the film. You know, like where you could barely tell what's going on. I'm like, oh,
well, they were they on Hoth? At the beginning of the movie, there is a lot of snow, Mike.
No, it's like snow everywhere. Like even in space, like Darth Vader looked like he was wearing.
Those were stars.
Those are stars.
no, everybody was wearing.
They jumped the light speed.
Yeah, like wow, the lightsaber's kind of whitish, and like like the whole film was like all white. So I was like watching this, and then of course, you know, like how on a VHS step they go like that. So that kept going on there, and here I am really trying to concentrate what's going on in the movie. I literally, it looks like I'm still on the Hoth, and yet they're on Bespin, right, on Lando's planet. It's still snowing in there. So that's how I watched it. And it's just like when I was able, what was it, back in high school when I was able to buy the movie finally and watch it, I'm like, oh my God, they actually left Hoth. They're in space. It looks black. Darth Vader's not wearing white. I'm like, oh, this movie's awesome. Because I thought the whole movie was just in white all the time. Like the color was, there's no color in that film. Lots of static. Yeah, it was just a bad copy that the babysitter got.
When I finally bought that trilogy, it was after they brought it out, kind of remastered in the early 90s. Before they added all the extra scenes in the late 90s. So I got the box set, and they shined everything up real nice and pretty. So my buddy that worked with me, he's like, can you lend those to me? I'm going to rip them. He had 2 VCRs or whatever. I'm like, yeah, sure, I guess, And then he started complaining to me a few days later. He copied them and gave me mine back and went to watch them. And that's when they started adding that anti-piracy thing into the videotapes where it would muffle the sound. The picture would get bright and then dim and bright and dim. And so he had 3 movies that were just garbage he couldn't watch.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny, Poe, how you were saying about, watching them and then we didn't have them readily available like they are now and stuff. And of course, now we're adults too. So I had the misfortune of, or whatever. I got to see the original Star Wars in the theaters. My uncle took us. I think I told that story before. My dad thought it was, even after he watched it, he was still like, I don't get it. Why are you guys so excited about this? This is, he's a Westerns guy. He wants to watch, Gunsmoke and Bonanza and stuff. And we go watch Star Wars. And he's just like, can we go home? What's this all about? So, and my parents in general were not movie people. So, and I'm a huge movie buff, and it's crazy because I grew up not getting to see much. And I saw Star Wars in the theater when it came out, episode 4, before it was episode 4. Right. I never saw Empire or Jedi until I was in high school and could rent a VCR on my own.
Oh, wow.
And rent the movies to see them. And that's the next time I got to saw the next time I got to saw, because I'm good at English. The next time I got to see episode 4, A New Hope, I was in high school now. So it was many years later. And all I had was, my album here that I have hanging on the wall. That's how I would watch Star Wars for like 10 years, was listening to that album of the story of Star Wars and have my little Luke Skywalker figure, Darth Vader. And
yeah, that was one thing I remember specifically of them taking us to see all 3 Star Wars. I remember, I think it was when Empire came out, my family actually picked us up at the bus stop to go see it. We were all excited. And then Jedi was my favorite when I was a kid, going to see it. But they really didn't take us to many movies either. 3 Star Wars movies. My grandma took us to see E.T., and she had already watched it and liked it so much she took the grandkids, But yeah, and then I remember going to see The Last Crusade with them when my brother was a senior in high school. They took me and my brother. That's the last movie I saw in theaters with my parents, was Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. But,
yeah. The last movie I saw in the theater with my parents was Star Wars, 1977.
Nice.
My parents, and which worked out good for me. I think I told the story before when they dropped me off to see Herbie the Love Bug, and instead I went and watched King Kong with Jessica Lange.
They did drop us off for something, and we ended up in Jaws 3D. So, yeah. And I was pretty young then, maybe 10, maybe. But I thought it was awesome.
I'm still sensitive about the whole King Kong thing because like 3 years ago, freaking Kelly told my mom, she ratted me out. I got away with it for like 50 years, and then Kelly goes to stitches just because my mom's only 5'2", so Kelly bonds with her because they're both dwarves. But she just completely ratted me out for no apparent reason. She just hey, he snuck into King Kong when you dropped him off to see Herbie. And my mom, she grounded me. I'm 52 years old, and we're in Phoenix, and I wasn't allowed to leave the house for 3 days. I don't know what that was about. Yeah, but no, my parents were not movie people, and of course, anything that was rated R and stuff like that, I wasn't able to see until I got out of high school, and unless my brother happened to rent something, or
my buddy was good for that. I went over to stay at his place in, I want to say 5th grade, and we watched Porky's, and we watched Revenge of the Nerds all in one night. So I'm seeing all this stuff that I had never seen before. Well, I've seen it before, and the magazines we had hidden. But he's like, he warned me before time. He's like, we're allowed to watch these movies with these naked ladies, but just don't laugh when you see them, or else they'll make us turn it off. His parents just didn't care, but don't laugh. I'm like, oh, they're the boys. Yeah. My mom wondered why I wanted to sleep over at his name was Mike. Why I wanted to go there every Friday. We're watching Revenge of the Nerds, man.
Right. Yeah. It's
Yeah, a little
I,
bit.
I wasn't allowed to watch much of anything.
Oh,
I think the
wow.
first time I saw like First Blood, I was in high school, and my brother brought the I almost said DVD, the VHS over, and we watched that. I'd never seen any of that stuff.
It's funny you mentioned that movie. Why does that bring back memories? The first time I ever saw any of First Blood was my parents went to an appliance store. They were going to buy something, and the TVs had First Blood on. I don't know if it was on HBO or if they had it. I'm standing there watching it as a little kid. And then they took me over to a department store called Hill's Department Store that was here. And it was my birthday, and that's when they bought me Castle Grayskull. So the day I got Castle Grayskull was the first day I was watching First Blood as well. So,
Nice.
memories.
Nice.
Nice.
It's different for me. I think, but both my parents were big movie buffs. My dad really loved American cinema when he had moved from the Philippines to Hawaii. He even what we call loved culture as far as the muscle cars. So I remember growing up with the different muscle cars, but movies we would go to the theater all the time between him and my mom. Now, my dad was more into action movies, so I got to see a lot of action films with him. I think I saw like Superman, the one with Richard Pryor in it. Was it 3?
Superman 3?
Yeah. So I saw that, and then with my mom, unfortunately, my mom really loved horror films, and I didn't like horror films when I was little. I think I was like 6 or 5 years old. She took me to go see Friday the 13th. So that movie Kelly mentioned. And I had my head buried in the seat. And of course, I'm scared to death watching these horror films back when I was little. And so I just remember a lot of horror films that my mom would take me. Of course, I couldn't watch it. And then there'd be I guess there was one time, the ladies that shine the flashlight, they're roaming about. And so she saw me in the seat. And she asked my mom, because I remember this. She's like, "Hey, ma'am, do you want me to take your son to go watch another film that he might enjoy?" And then my mom asked, "Do I have to pay for it?" And she's like, "No, it's on me." So she took my hand. I remember going with her. And then she's leading me to go watch Bambi. She's like, "Here, this is a better film from you." And then I was watching it, I had a big smile on my face. And of course, guess which scene they put me where it's going to happen? The shooting scene, of course. I'm like, and I was crying about that because it's like, no.
You're like, "Where's that bitch with the flashlight? You tricked me. It was a setup."
But yeah, I do remember that. I got to watch my first Disney film. But thanks to that movie, though, anytime we'd go to the video store, I loved renting Disney films. So I would rent Sword in the Stone, Robin Hood,
Good movies.
Herbie. I even liked. I wasn't into westerns, but I did love the Apple Dumpling Gang.
Yes, awesome.
So, yes,
Don Knotts, Tim Conway. Man, I love their movies.
Yeah. So I would just go on just rent a whole bunch of old Disney. I even watched Davy Crockett back then. So yeah, I guess if it wasn't for Bambi, even though it kind of horrified me, I wouldn't have been on that Disney binge back then.
Yeah. All right, Gideon's got to take off. It's 3 a.m., so he needs to sleep for work. Whatever.
Good night, Gideon. Thanks for dropping by.
Good night, Gideon.
Only to find Gideon's Bible. Every time.
Pete's Dragon.
Gideon checked out
good
and left it, no doubt. Are we going to get dinged for Beatles songs now?
I don't know. I'm still curious if we're going to get dinged for the new intro with
you did a great job with that intro.
That was awesome.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Now we're banned, hopefully, in 2 countries.
Right? Yeah. What was it? Russia we got banned in for the original one.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
so
think I said in
yeah.
the chat. That's what happens when I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and lyrics are running through my head.
And at least you executed on it and you did something about it. Because I get these
Yeah.
ideas in the middle of the night and I'm like, I'm going to make this, and this for my video. It's going to be great. It's going to be hilarious. And I'm like, I don't feel like it, man. I don't even know if I want to make a video at all, let alone this big elaborate intro I was going to do.
Well, it's hilarious because I was coming up with these lyrics. I'm laying in bed, and then I got to this point where I'm like, shit, I got to do this now because if I fall back asleep, it's gone.
Right.
And so I came out here. I'm thinking it's fresh in my mind. I had to download the original one so I could sync up, and sing it at the right timing so the video would be synced up with it. And I got to the very first thing, and it's ready to go. I'm doing the snap, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. And then it's time for the words, and I'm like, what the fuck did I say? And I opened up Notepad and I typed out the lyrics, and I had to read them while I was singing because I couldn't remember what the said. But yeah, so I'll be curious if we and then I just did I did that as a goof, and I said that's kind of funny. I'm going to leave it.
Well, at least
Yeah.
we reached Canada since Mike was able to tune in. We weren't blocked
Right.
in Canada. That's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, but yeah, that's funny.
Well, speaking of intros and Mike, he reviewed Atari 7800. Oh, here it is. Popeye recently, and he did a really cool intro for his, where his head was superimposed over Popeye's. And it's an old black and white Popeye cartoon in the beginning of it, so it was really cool.
Nice.
And he even put my name in it in the little bottom credits since it was a Popeye video. So,
Oh, that's cool.
but yeah, you talk about old shows, scary shows, old scary movies. That's all thanks to my dad. He had us watching this stuff, even though we didn't have a VCR till '87. So most of the stuff that I watched was made for TV by that point. But Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Twilight Zone show, loved that, watching that. Alfred Hitchcock Presents, Salem's Lot, The Fog, all of this stuff was thanks to my dad that got me loving this stuff. Amityville Horror, that movie scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. But
Yeah.
my dad was like, we're going to watch this, and we would sit down to watch it. And then the only bathroom we had in that house growing up was down in the basement. I was scared as hell to go pee every time we watched one of those movies.
Yeah. Well, that's funny. I had put it up quite a while ago. Kelly's mom is an interesting person, kind of hard to get along with. But one thing she did do, her mom liked movies, and so Kelly was able to experience a lot of movies growing up because her mom loves movies.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah,
Unless it was something scary or something special. My parents really didn't watch TV. My dad would watch the lottery and the evening news each night. That was it. You had to be off of the TV at that point. But if there was something scary on, or even Charlie Brown Halloween or Charlie Brown Christmas, Garfield Halloween, my dad would sit and watch those. So, but
nice.
really nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't get to experience any of that stuff. Yeah. I could sneak into the other room where we had the little 12-inch black and white and get Benny Hill show on channel 57.
Oh yeah, we would sneak and watch that too, my brothers and I. Once we got the UHF channel around here, we figured out how to get it in with the foil on the rabbit ears. Benny Hill was on, so
get the Benny Hill show up on those high channels on UHF. But and every once in a while, I find some Monty Python's Flying Circus on there too.
Yeah.
So that was always fun. But my parents wouldn't watch any of that stuff. But the big TV in the living room, Dad had that. Well, we didn't have a remote. I was the remote.
Yeah,
Put on
right.
3. All right, but
when the Pennsylvania lottery came on, drop everything you're doing. You're playing Atari or Nintendo. You turn that crap off right now. The lottery's on. Dad might win. He didn't, but Dad might win.
Yeah. Sunday morning at 10 o'clock in Phoenix on Channel 5, I think it was, the local not affiliated channel. This is back in the day. You got to remember, we had Channel 3, Channel 5, Channel 8 was PBS, Channel 10 was CBS, Channel 12. That's it. And then you got up to 57, and all those were the few UHF channels where you'd see.
Yes.
And 10 o'clock on Sunday morning, they had The World Beyond, they called it, and they would play either a sci-fi or a horror movie. And my parents would let me watch it because they'd be doing other stuff. But then most of the time, I'd have to get up and go because they sent me and my brothers to church at 11. So I wouldn't get to watch the end of the movies.
Oh, no.
I think if my mom was paying attention, she wouldn't let me watch any of them.
Yeah.
A lot of them were tame sci-fi movies, but they had some pretty bad horror movies on there too sometimes.
Nice. That was on Saturdays here, Channel 53 UHF Suspense Theater, Saturday afternoons. Some of the worst old black and white movies you ever saw, but they were still scary when you were a kid,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
did you guys get like Elvira's show that would pop
We
on
had
TV?
a local woman named Mona that looked like Elvira, and I've tried to look her up. I can't find it anywhere, but she would host them, and she just looked like Elvira. Had the big knockers hanging out and dressed like her and everything, but her name was Mona.
Yeah, no, I never got to watch Elvira at all when she was doing her stuff. And I don't know if it was available and I just never found it, or if I just never saw it live when it was on the air. I've seen reruns and stuff like that, but not live.
Did you know she had a TV show that aired? Did you guys know about that? She had and it had the mom from Who's the Boss. So that was her
really?
mom. Yeah, so it's on YouTube. It was the pilot episode, and it's actually pretty funny. It's got Elvira with the mom from Who's the Boss on there. So they had
Was that the older lady? From television shows Soap and Who's the Boss, and later I think Everybody Loves Raymond. She was on.
I know she was from Who's the Boss?
Mona?
Mona, yeah.
Sure.
I think her name was Mona too. Yeah.
It was Mona on there, and she was on the show Soap before that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, she was on.
And Everybody Loves Raymond.
Basically played the same character.
Yeah, she did.
She was like the Blanche Devereaux, the oversexed older lady, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But she was like
Yeah.
Elvira's mom on it, I think. So she was like the other witch that stayed there. So, but yeah, funny show. I was kind of hoping, but I could understand though they wouldn't want to, because I'm like, oh, maybe they had a problem with two things that were showing a lot of that show. It's supposed to be like, maybe they were like thinking this is not family friendly, so we can't have her have her own show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bart mentioned Sundays television, and we went to church every week. You were going there, even if you were dying. Mom was taking you there. But there were a few times one of us ended up missing. A lot of times my dad couldn't make it because he was working, and I think it was my brother, one of my older brothers, stayed home, and he found out that one of the channels had on the Herculoids and stuff like that on Sunday mornings. Frankenstein Jr. There was another one that was like a rock band, three guys. The one was a multiple guy, the other was a liquid guy, the other one was a spring guy. And so once we found that out, we started faking sick like every Sunday morning we could to stay home and watch this. But then Sunday afternoons, if you did go to church, that same UHF channel would have on either like an Abbott and Costello movie or the old Blondies movies, stuff like that. Laurel and Hardy, loved that stuff, watching that stuff after church back in the day.
Nice. That's awesome. All right.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's work in the morning. This was a really fun show, though. I had a good time with this one.
Yeah, it was.
So, want to hit final thoughts then?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Bart, let's go for you first.
All right. Yeah, my final thought is going to be again. I'm my evenings are dedicated to horror movies this month, and during the daytime, I've been doing a lot of the train sim, and I got onto the iRacing, which I said I wouldn't do, but I posted in the Discord how you get onto iRacing for $10 for the first year, which is a smoking deal. And there's a lot of free cars and free tracks. So far I haven't paid another penny for iRacing.
Nice.
Nice.
But I have a feeling I'm going to soon because I want to race some other tracks, and then you have to buy them. But much like you guys were saying earlier about you don't actually own the stuff. If iRacing were to ever shut down, all the tracks, all the cars, they're all gone.
Yeah.
And you have to have an internet connection to play. So even if you're paying for it, if your internet were to go down, you can't jump on and just do practice laps. Even you have to have an internet connection to use iRacing. But it is a lot of fun racing against real people instead of the AI where you can figure out how they drive and just cheat the system usually. So, but yeah, I've been doing in the train sim stuff. Greg got me into the train sim, so now I've been doing that a lot. So yeah, but other than that, just get into the contest again. P8KX. I wrote it down because I knew I wouldn't remember. P8KX, and that is in Pinball M, and it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. 1 week, high score. Let's play it. So
Nice.
that's what I got.
Cool. Poe, you're next.
Yeah, I really don't have anything. I got my zombie video out there, the Living Dead Museum. So nothing really planned. As long as I can get Splatterhouse 2 fired up here, I'll get a video on it. And I do have a new capture card coming tomorrow and the new webcam coming because mine was freezing up. I don't know if it was the webcam that was freezing up or not, but I just went for it. I got this new one that actually will zoom when you do hand motions and stuff like that. And that's what everybody wants to see anyway, is a close-up of me. So
It's gonna get your views. Watch those views come in.
So those will both be coming tomorrow. Elgato capture device. I have one that's pretty decent. It's really cheap, but fairly decent. But I think sometimes my videos start coming out choppy. So I don't know if it's that capture device or if it's OBS or what's going on. The laptop, who knows? So I figured, why not get something that everybody says is decent, spend a little more money on it. And because I was using some of the little, I showed you guys before, it was like an HDMI. Yeah. Those things are like $8, which is fine, but they last you 3 or 4 months and then they overheat and they stop working.
Yeah.
They work fine when they're working, but then they crap out. So luckily I had my bigger one that I've been using, but I've noticed some choppiness on some of my videos with it. So I'm thinking that it's that. We'll see. We'll get the new capture card tomorrow and figure it out.
Nice.
And hopefully find the Splatterhouse and play it. And then Bart will whoop my butt at it again. And then I'll say, I'll play again Saturday night, and then I won't play it again.
Yeah, you should like that Elgato. It's good.
That might be my last win of the season. You don't know.
Well, and next week will be an arcade challenge, so I'm sure it's somebody else's turn to pick aside from me. So if you want to pick something, we got to figure out something spooky. We'll talk.
Yeah.
Okay, I just is that it, Poe? I don't want to interrupt your final thought, but
yeah, that's it.
Before you do yours, I'm throwing this up because Derek said, Derek, add a channel on the Discord for movies, and then since it went so well with tonight, people naming off, don't just list random movies in this though. If you're watching a horror movie this month, post in there what movie you're watching. I've been sending every night. I said, here's tonight's movies. Here's tonight's movie. I could post it on Discord, but you should put a channel on our Discord for movie.
Yeah,
talk.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And people can post what movies they're watching. For this month, it'd be horror movies. You know, what movie are you watching?
Perfect
And,
time of the year for that, because the Halloween movies, and I absolutely love Christmas and Christmas specials and movies. I'd love to
Yep.
see what everybody's.
Right.
And
Yeah,
for Thanksgiving, the only thing I can think of is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I watch that religiously Thanksgiving
Right.
morning every year. So
yeah, and it could be themed, and who knows? There could be stuff like maybe at St. Patrick's Day, you always watch the Leprechaun movies because you still like horror movies.
Oh, I
but
love
you're
Leprechaun.
watching that at that time. Or there is that new horror movie, the Thanksgiving horror movie too. So maybe you're watching that at Thanksgiving. Or
St. Patrick's Day for me is The Quiet Man with John Wayne. I've watched that every single year since I was probably 12 or 13 years old. The Quiet Man.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's a cool thing, and then we can post in there what movie you're watching, especially this month for horror themed stuff, and then we can do that every season. And if it's not a holiday, just people can say, hey, maybe whatever's new we can talk about.
Yeah, check
Anyway,
out this movie.
That was my final thought and a half. So
And I butted in as always, so it's perfect.
right, yeah, it worked out good.
Well, I guess for my final thoughts, I'm still working on Mission Impossible, so I'll be recording the gameplay today. So I did take a little break because I've been watching horror movies with my son. We've been watching a lot of the Resident Evil films. He's been loving watching that. But I'm thinking, since we're going the movie video game route, Silent Hill will probably be our next one we're going to watch. Then for me, if it's just myself, I'm probably going to watch Hatchet and Terrifier. So I want to go catch that as well. But yeah, working on Mission Impossible today. I'll capture some gameplay, but that'll be up later. I'll let everybody know on the community page when it's ready to be posted. So that's all I've got.
You know, talk about the Resident Evil movies really quick. One of the best DVD commentary lines ever was from the first Resident Evil, and Jovovich and what's her name, Michelle Rodriguez? Is that her name?
Rodriguez.
They were doing a commentary track, and if you remember in that beginning of the movie when Jovovich falls down and one of her boobs is exposed, or whatever, the Michelle Rodriguez called her out. She says, "What is this one tit stuff? If you were dedicated to this film, you'd have got them both out." That is a great.
Oh, I gotta watch. Yeah, I got the commentary on it. I gotta watch that.
Yeah,
that's funny.
That's pretty funny. Another one, talking about commentaries. If you like watching DVDs or movies with commentary tracks, the Apollo 13 movie with Tom Hanks, the DVD had a commentary track with Jim Lovell watching the movie and giving his commentary. Very interesting.
Cool.
He talks about what's real, what's fake, what was enhanced, for theatrical values, like the argument when they kind of blamed him for pushing the button and stirring the tank. He said, none of that shit happened. We were never at each other's throat. That's completely. And one of them that cracked me up was in the beginning when Tom Hanks was driving his Corvette. Jim Lovell's like, "Oh, that's right. We all drove those Corvettes back then, but mine wasn't red. It was blue." And it's like, well, that's Tom Hanks. You fucked up the color of the car. But, it's another good commentary track if you like watching commentaries. But yeah, check that commentary track out. They have the one with Jovovich and Michelle Rodriguez when that booby scene comes. She calls her out for not being dedicated and getting both.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, so.
And really, it's October, so I should have already gotten rid of Stretch for the month and brought out the master of mayhem himself, Vincent Price Grayscale. I forgot. So here he is, everybody. I know you were waiting to see Vincent.
Hold on, let me get you. Let's get a zoom in here. Nice.
He's got a little bird with him. He's got a raven with him.
Oh, you got to watch Thriller then. Remember Thriller?
Right. All right. Oh, I guess I need to find an outro. I got to play great ukulele music while I look for an outro. I'm going to use the same 12-second outro I always use. Okay, so is that it? Are we good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to get to bed. Woo.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching. We'll see
Yeah.
you same bat time, same bat channel. We're out.